Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Givler and welcome back to the GivReads channel. If you're new here, I'm an urban fantasy author, gaming YouTuber, and booktuber. I like to wear a lot of hats like this one right here, and it keeps me busy. Today we are going to be reacting to reviews from you guys on the second book of my series, The Deck Collection, which is an urban fantasy series. If you've never heard about it, the links to the books will be in the description below. Go grab them. If you didn't know that the second book came out, now I'm here telling you. And we're gonna see what people have to say. We're gonna take the, the harsh criticism on the chin and go from there. As always, if you guys haven't left a review after reading the books, please do it. It makes a huge difference, especially wherever the book is sold. So Amazon, Audible, and Goodreads, all of those places are big factors into helping other people discover the series. It's one of the best things you can do to help support indie authors like me. Also, you can do the stuff like hitting the like button, hit the subscribe. I'm asking you to do a lot of things, but I'm a YouTuber and an author. There's a lot to do. Sorry. So without further ado, we're gonna dive into Dandelion Audit. Book 2. Now, there may be spoilers, maybe anything, so peruse at your own risk. Also, I will be doing this for Book 3, Star Summit, soon, so if you haven't left a review for that book yet, make sure to do it, have a chance to be featured. We'll go from there. So here we have the Dandelion Audit's Amazon page. There are 109 ratings. It's been out for about a month and a half, and let's see what people have to say. It has a 4.8, which is absurdly high. You guys are very nice. I appreciate that. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Let's see what people have to say. What we do in this video is we'll start with the lowest reviews, and we'll work our way up, and then we'll read a couple reviews to kind of help balance my ego. Okay, so there are 0 1-star reviews. Cool. And 0 2-star reviews. So much for my ego. There are 3-star reviews. Let's see. Nathan says, good, but room for improvement. The book was well written and it had an interesting plot, but sadly the author falls into the loser hero trope and never climbs out. Matthew's not special. He has no skills, no powers, and it's constantly reminded of that fact. The soul-stealing contract thing gets stale fast, as does the constant reminder that hell is after him. That said, the plot is relatively fresh with a few glaring holes. Still worth a read, and we'll read book 3. Huh, interesting. A little confused by this review. People take what they want from things, right? There are only 2 people who've left a 3-star review, and this is the only review with it, so we can't say much. But Matthew does have powers in this book. In this book, he gets powers, and he uses them, so I'm a little confused by that. But, hey, okay. I love reading these reviews. Like, these really don't get under my skin, guys. I've been making YouTube videos for like 12 years. So reading things that people say on the internet doesn't really bother me. I know some authors get worried about it. Or, I mean, it's hard. I definitely would say that a review for a book matters more than like somebody saying like, this video is dumb, because I make a lot more videos than I do books. These books are my babies. I love them. But sometimes you just chuckle. Like, I wish he said what he thought the glaring plot holes were, because I'm curious. I do talk about the fact that hell is after him a lot. It's on his mind, but, I could see, yeah, maybe it's too repetitive. I'm very confused by him saying he has no powers, because he has powers. It's like the whole, whatever. Anyway, moving on. 4-star, let's see. John H. Beshears says, was slightly slow for me in the middle, but an excellent read. Book 2 of the Deck Collection, and it deals with more of the world building. The Deck Collection world's complex, and an improvement in writing from the first. The only complaint is the middle of the book. It was a little slow for me, but that's my opinion. Overall, an amazing read, and I definitely recommend. That's the only 4-star review with a rating. Or only 4-star rating with a review. But, ouch. Not really. I mean, okay. I feel like that's a thing that's maybe not unfair. The thing that happened as I was writing Dandelion Audit was I realized I was juggling all the sisters. And originally I wanted to do all the sisters because I felt like it would give me a chance to do this like really cool sort of wide range of characters who are all doing, kind of their own unique, diverse things. And then I realized that meant that I had to give them all screen time. So it was a really, really big challenge for me I really wanted to write the sisters well. I wanted them to be their own people, pass the Bechdel test, exist, and not just be like there to prop up the plot, which meant they all needed time to show their personality. And they were a ton of fun. Writing Dawn is one of my favorite things I've ever done, but it takes space. So Dandelion Audit was really hard for me to write. I think it might have been the hardest book of the series for me to write. Star Summit was a lot easier in a lot of ways, because I was kind of finding it as I went, and it was juggling like all these really complex, big personalities. And I could see like if you didn't get into it and you didn't enjoy that part of the ride, that it would make the middle slow. There's still action in the middle. Things are happening. Like I think that Soul Fraud has more scenes where nothing happens than Dandelion Audit does, but also this guy still really enjoyed the book. So I think that's not unfair at all. You know, that's a perspective thing, what you enjoy, what you're looking for in a thing. Fair enough. Let's read some 5 stars. This is supposed to be the part where, like, after, like, getting beat up a little bit and being like, well, okay. But there was only 2, like, mildly negative reviews. We'll go check Goodreads after this and Audible. The Goodreads tends to be meaner, so we'll see what they say over there, okay? Okay, N.A. Ward, who has left a bunch of reviews. He actually sent me a really nice email. He's a nice guy. He said, a strong second entry in the debt collection series. Okay, cool. There are a variety of things that draw me to books and authors. Of course, good writing and interesting plots are vital to the equation. What really keeps me going, however, is good characterization. Top-flight writing and incredibly interesting plots won't always get me through a book if I don't care about the people in it. Meanwhile, I'll enjoy a book with less than stellar plot if I like spending time with the people in the narrative. Andrew Givler's second novel, that's me, and book 2 of the Debt Collection series scores highly in all 3 categories. First, the writing is solid. Take those. Second, the plot has fascinated me since I first learned of the narrative hook of soul fraud. One danger of series writing is that they can go on too long and the plot begins to grow thin, and sometimes that happens as early as book 2. This isn't the case so far in the Debt Collection series, and I hope Givler doesn't let it become the case at any point. I certainly don't want to. Third, and most significantly, however, the characters are great. Whether the major characters like Matt and Alex, the role players like Robin and the sisters, or even the one-off characters who pop in and out, they're believable and enjoyable, and it's easy to care about what will happen to them. Finally, Givler keeps his writing family-friendly. Of course, that matters more to some than to others, but I find it to be refreshing change from books that use sex and vulgarity as a crutch to prop up a limited vocabulary, and unimaginative mind. I have dyslexia. Reading this is tricky. Yeah, I don't know that I would 100% say that these books are family-friendly. It probably depends on your family a little bit, right? I say that these books are PG-13. There's going to be a little bit of swearing in it. There's going to be violence. There might be a little bit of spicy tension, but I do also know that a lot of younger folks are coming over from YouTube to read it, and so I don't want to make something that they can enjoy, but at the same time I'm not writing something that's like YA. So I'm trying to walk this like delicate balance where parents approve of it, kids enjoy it, and it doesn't feel like it's not real. Like I feel like sometimes a lot of YA gets written where it's like not real in order to make like it's a safe thing for younger kids, which isn't a bad thing all the time, but I want. And sometimes I really enjoy YA, right? I've got YA on my shelf back there. Hunger Games feels that way sometimes, right? It's deliberately this sort of like YA certain slice of vibe. And it's great. Excellent books are written that way. But it's not what I wanted to do with this. I wanted it to feel like gritty urban fantasy. Like I wanted it to be in the Dresden Files category rather than the YA category, essentially. So it's cool that a parent feels like I hit that nail on the head because I'm trying to write something for everybody, which is really tricky. But that's cool. That makes me happy because sometimes I worry it's too dark and sometimes I worry it's not dark enough. And sometimes I just don't think about it. Sulfur and Dandelion Audit aren't in the genres I usually read. I read the first to screen it before my kids asked to read it. They follow Givler's YouTube channel. See? Aha, that's what I'm talking about. Despite these books not being up my usual alley, I've thoroughly enjoyed them. Both the books and also getting to see a different side of a person I sort of, but don't really know. I'm sorry if you have to hear me yelling in your like background for your children every day. But thanks for reading the book. Nick Menard says, thrilling second installment of a fun series. I haven't had a book that kept me reading the early morning in a very, very long time. Dandelion Audit was that book and more. I absolutely devoured every word. Soul Fraud, the first of the Debt Collection series, was solid and had a great foundation. Dandelion Audit built upon the narrative foundation in enticing ways. The improvement that the author has done between the first and second book clearly shows. That was like the most important thing to me with the second book. Not only in the writing for Dandelion Audit, objectively better, but there's a sense of scale to this book that makes the reader realize exactly how high the stakes are. Wow, those were like the 2 most important things to me with the book. Cool. The flow of the action sequence is smooth. The dramatic scenes have both beautiful detail and urgency that keeps things moving at an entertaining clip. There are consequences for each decision characters make, and no one seems safe from the dangers present in Dandelion Audit. The dialogue is snappy, but natural, not overly scripted or trying to impress with cleverness. The main character, Matthew Carver, is a wisecracking young man, but he doesn't have a quip for every turn his life takes. There are many moments of silent sorrow, grief, or shock that feel very human. The characters are rich and each feel like they have unique viewpoints and motivations. This is impressive given that there are many who take center stage throughout the book. Overall, wonderful book, and I'm already eager for the 3rd installment of the series. Well, good news, Nick. It's out. That's cool. So, really, I started writing Soul Fraud a long time ago, and I think I've become a much better author by the time that I wrote the second book. So I was hoping that other people would agree with that, and it wasn't just me thinking that. So that's cool. I've seen that a couple times that people say like, "Wow, the writing got better," and that's one of the most important things. The other thing was that Soul Fraud's the first book, right? Matt kind of gets thrown into this situation, and he doesn't know what the heck is going on, and he's overwhelmed. And then now book 2 has a little bit of his footing under him. Obviously, he never gets to keep his footing under him because I like to rip it away. But he has a little bit better understanding of what's going on around him, and that means that I can show a bigger picture. So I always want to do that with the second book, with the third book, with all the books are going to keep kind of zooming out and showing you more. That's cool. I'm glad that resonated. All right, well, everybody's being too nice to me on Amazon. Let's go to Goodreads and see if we have some harsher critics. Okay, so Dandelion Audit has a 4.91 on Audible or Goodreads. Where am I? Hello? Which is crazy because everybody says like they're meaner, but this is actually a higher rating than it has on Amazon. So do with that information what you will. I guess, hey, if you've left a review on Goodreads and not on Amazon, you can now. Please do, because holy, okay. There are 0 1 stars, 0 2 stars, 0 3 stars. Guys, you guys are too nice. Are you? Wow. Okay. Well, let's read some 4 stars. Easton Jones says, this book is amazingly crafted. Oh, I feel criticized already. There's so many twists and turns, you'll be unable to put the book down. You can really tell how Andrew's improved his writing. Just when things seem to be going good, Matt takes a turn for the worst. I was unable to put the book down. I was unable to wait the extra month for this book to come out, and I was lucky to get an arc. Thank you, Sigils. Sigils improved so much, and I'm glad he continues this series. 4 stars. Got it. Cool. I really don't make these videos to like gas myself up. I actually kind of hope that there's some mean comments. There's some like Soul Fraud. We got a couple banger mean comments, right? You guys are just so nice about this book. All right, let's read some 5 stars, I guess. Dad needs mid-rolls. All right, Robbie, let's see what you say here. I have a lot to talk about. Cool. First of all, disclaimer, I got an ARC. Yep, okay, so one of the early access readers. I love this book so much. It's probably one of the best books I've ever read. I feel the exact same about the original, but this book takes it to a whole nother level. Storytelling is fantastic. The twists were amazing, and I was stunned at every revelation, and every chapter made me want to read more. Cool. It seems like it would feel out of place since it has such a different feel from the original. Soul Fraud was a completely different experience from this book. The series excels by making such different reading experiences work together with each other, feel like a cohesive story, even though we are in 2 entirely different worlds over the course of the 2 books. The first is a unique take on the urban fantasy genre, while this was a demon-filled royal whodunit. It shouldn't work, but it works. Cool. The writing is a masterpiece. That seems aggressive. There are so many analogies and wordplays I had to stop reading, which was very hard just to appreciate it. Okay. Don't even get me started about the characters introduced in this book. Every single one was so well written. Even the one master that taught Orion, he was only in 2 different scenes, and he still had more of a developed character than a lot of side characters in popular media. The sisters were so well written, I had trouble finding one that could have done it, let alone 2. And Zagan. Oh, Zagan. He's such a good villain, and I can't wait for the group to interact with him more. I love Zagan. I was glad he wasn't killed in this book like Lilith was last time. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Just 2 more things. Multiple times in the book, I found references to Sigil's YouTube personality. Once in the book, Matt complained that people kept saying he was short, and he said he was 6 feet tall. That's weird. Also, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Matt said his knees felt weak. Nope. TLDR, I can't wait for this book. I love this book, and I can't wait till Star Summit. It's out. Dude, I don't even know what to say. That's such a nice review, and it hit so many things that were like definitely the things I was focusing on. I wanted my writing to be better. I wanted the twist to be good. I wanted it to be really hard to tell which sister had done it. And also, you're right, this is like such a bigger story that takes place in a different place than Soul Fraud, but I wanted it to feel like part of that. And that's going to happen again. I think all of these books will always have kind of their own vibe, but it still fits in, like, it's an episodic moment of this crazy thing that's happening in this whole story. Will we get there? We'll find out. All right, Jack Rose, good old Jack, says, a great follow-up to Andrew's debut novel and a great addition to the Deck Collection series. Whilst, he's European, reading this novel, I found myself neglecting real-world jobs to see where the story took me. I was enthralled. You can tell the writing's improved a lot since the debut. Take that. His description and flow of this novel is great in keeping the pace of the story at a nice flow. All right. What I felt was a breath of fresh air was the tone for the story. I feel like Andrew let his personality shine through more, allowing his wit, sarcasm, and nods to other aspects of his career. You guys really like the jokes. Okay. I could be wrong, but I also felt like there were moments of fourth wall breaking to talk to us as bystanders of Matt's story. A device I feel doesn't get used a lot. I hope it wasn't me misreading it. I don't know if I would call it fourth wall breaks. I would call it 3.5 wall breaks. Sometimes I think Matt makes a comment that you could take in a fourth wall breaking thing, but in my head, he's not breaking the fourth wall. He's more like just such a performer that he would do, if he was performing, he would break the fourth wall. But is he performing? I would say no. Does that make sense? I do that. But if you want to take it as a fourth wall break, who am I to stop you? In relation to the story without spoilers, I was intrigued how the title would play into the story, and I was not disappointed. There are various twists and turns in the tale that caught me off guard. I also feel like Matt, who refers himself as dumb, because when I read towards the end, I facepalmed that I didn't spot the clues. My only nitpick is that I wish I knew more about the time between the 2 novels, but other than that, I loved every second of it. Well, actually, Jack, I have good news about that. I'm going to be writing a novella this year, which I think I'm going to give away for free this year. You have the ability to get it for free this year or eventually buy probably next year. But the goal is for later this year to have a novella about something that happens in between book 1 and book 2. So keep your eyes open for that. It'll be, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but that's on the to-do list here. It's like for this like cool short story, like free, like short story collection thing that I'm doing something with this year. I cannot wait to read the next book to see where the journey takes us next. Thank you again for the early copy to review. Yeah, well, thank you for the review, Dark. Okay, cool. Yeah, so everybody's just real freaking nice. All right, you know what? Here we go. Finn's got some constructive criticism, so maybe we'll get roasted. This is another arc reader, by the way. In this book, not only do we see Matt, Alex, and Orion meet new characters, grow as a team, and go on many exciting adventures from all different parts of mythology from around the world, we also get to see how much Andrew has grown as an author in the last year. If I told you to think of a famous author, I bet a lot of money that whoever you chose has made it not only for being able to paint a picture in the reader's mind and take them on an adventure, but also for being able to build good characters, keeping reader emotionally invested, and most importantly, adding drama and keeping unexpected surprises neatly nestled in between carefully crafted dialogue and layers of humor that only a genius could possibly imagine. So much for keeping my ego in check. All of this, Andrew, the only thing holding him back. All of this is Andrew. The only thing holding him back is probably recognition, but he's growing. I think if Andrew started writing maybe 5 to 10 years ago, he'd be well known like Eowyn Colfer, who wrote Artemis Fowl. Oh, Artemis Fowl. Okay. It's been so long since a book has captured me this much, to the point that I read 1/3 of the book in one sitting. It was very early hours of the morning, but that's another story. I have to give special mention to the final 6 chapters, plot twist of the century. I loved it and would love more of this layered drama in the next few books. Let's see what I can do. And here come my list of improvements. I need more, okay? The way I chew through this one, I'm gonna need another one every month. I'll see what I can do, homie. A couple main story points, such as the realization during the talk with Ash and Dawn, could have been made slightly more clear. Don't get me wrong, I still got them, but a couple things that said didn't mean much until a few chapters later. I'm not sure this was entirely intentional. Sometimes Matt figures things out and doesn't share it, and sometimes Matt doesn't figure things out, or he's like in kind of like this like process where he has it like the shape of it, but he doesn't have it figured out. So depending on what it was, it's hard for me to immediately respond to that, but that's fair. That's a thing that I tried to deal with, but it's really hard, is like making the character believably figure things out and then have him explain it in a way that makes it believable to you. There's layers to that. It can be tricky. Now, fair warning, this seems unnecessary, was probably the most important one of them all. We need more covers in the characters in the cover art. Having Matt isn't enough. We need more to tell us what we can expect while keeping it spoiler-free and mysterious. Like for this book, Ash, Dawn, Tanya, Mav, with Orion, Alex front and center. Matt, that'd be so many people. I know this list is tiny and these aren't really things to complain about, but after 2 hours, this is all I could think of. Sum it up, the series is made in my unbiased top 5 of all time. Holy crap. I love this book even more than the first and enjoyed watching not only Andrew, but Alex, Matt, and even Orion grow. I can't wait for book 3 and I'm excited to see the improvements from this book going into the next one. 5 years from now, Andrew Givler will be on the front windows of bookstores, on billboards, and front pages of both Amazon and book magazines. Holy crap, I'm going to be everywhere. I have money on it. Andrew, we love you and your work. Don't ever give this up. And if all of us cannot wait to see what you do in the future. I expect book 5 on my desk by 2025. If YouTube doesn't work out, you've got a career in writing. Never forget that. Best of luck and great book. 10/10 as usual. Listen, friend, my goal is to have book 5 on your desk before 2024 is over, but we'll see what we can do, okay? All right, well, let's go look at Audible, but... Okay, Audible has 40 ratings. Again, if you listen to the audiobook, make sure to leave reviews. Those on all of them. You know, that really helps. Okay, let's see. Filter by one... Okay, well... We got nothing. There's 2 4-stars, and they were for the performance, which Michael Mola killed it in this, dude. The fact that he had to do so many falsetto voices, dude's a genius. I love working with him. Michael, you are the best. If you ever see this for some reason, you are a gem, and you worked with me. Michael actually will do a lot of revisions with me, so he'll do his read of my draft, and then when I hear him perform things, I'll learn that some of it just sounds stupid, because he embodies the voices so much better than I can, even though I've read it like 10 times. And so I will give him a lot of dialogue tweaks, and he will run through them, and together we make something that's just so much better than when we started. So Michael is a hero. He's the best. He killed it in Star Summit. I can't wait for him to do Death Tax. It's so much fun. I love working with him. Well, let's see. Everybody just says like it needs to be a movie. They're enjoying it. They know the next book. Listen, book 3's out. Make sure to leave your ratings. Boys, guys, thank you so much for all your support. It means the world to me that you guys are enjoying these books. I'm going to keep writing more. I have some surprises. I'm going to do a video telling you guys about what I want to write next year. You may be a little bit shocked. We're going to do another really big ambitious year is the goal, because I do want to make writing a career, and you guys are going to help. So in the meantime, we'll keep doing more videos. I'm sorry that I was gone for a little bit here. I've been busy, I promise. Death Tax is almost done. I'll tell you about that soon. In the meantime, if you're new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back with more GivReads soon.